Move your caps and direct your attention to the flag in left field for the playing of our national anthem.
Action between the Trinity Bantams and the Tufts Jumbos. This will be a two-game doubleheader today. This is our first of two. I'm here alongside Daniel Mahoney, and we're here. My name is Alex Broder. Starting off with the Trinity starting lineup, we have number 13 first baseman Johnny Stamatis. Batting second, number 12 Matt Toth. He's playing left field. Batting third, the shortstop Matt Koperniak. Batting fourth, the DH, Eric Thronson. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 1, Connor Mahoney. Batting sixth, center fielder, Brennan Pierce. Batting seventh, right fielder, Christian Orsini. Batting eighth, number 30, Alex Rodriguez. He's catching. And batting ninth is the third baseman, Ben Renish. Pitching today for the Bantams is number 33, Alex Schaefer. This is our second game here against the Trinity Bantams. How did the first game go yesterday?
The first game, it was a pretty good affair. The Bantams ended up on top 6-5, but it was really a close game throughout. There was some really great pitching from Trinity for the first 6 innings or so before the Tufts managed to come back, but they couldn't bring it all the way.
Yeah, there was also an exciting ninth inning where the Jumbos managed to put up 2 but fell just short of their comeback. Pitching today for the Jumbos is Brent Greeley. He's 3-0 this year. He's got a 1.69 ERA, so we're expecting some more good pitching here from the Jumbos.
Yep. Yesterday they had R.J. Hall on the mound, who had 8 innings, 5 earned runs. It was a pretty good outing, but just wasn't quite enough. I was surprised they actually kept him in for so long. It was
I definitely think that having him in for so long was a result of knowing that they had 2 games to play today. They had to preserve the pen a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, and here we have Johnny Stamatis stepping in for the first pitch of the game. Here's the delivery. And it's a first pitch strike, nice and hard right down the middle.
Always a good start. Start off with a strike, start the game.
He looks in, gets the sign. And that's 0-2. Smash didn't really like that call. He turned around and had a couple words with the umpire. Doing the catching for Greeley today is Eric Schneff. Schneff gives the sign out to Greeley. And the 0-2 pitch. That one bounced about 3 feet in front of the plate. That's ball 1. Counts 1 and 2.
Yeah, and yesterday Stamatis went 3 for 4 with 2 runs, so he's looking to start off well again today.
I think he also moved up in the batting order here. A 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled back over onto field A. We'll do it all again. There's the second 1-2 pitch. That one again bounces in there a little bit low. We'll bring the count to 2-2, and now we should see some pitching a little bit more close to the zone. You don't really want to give him anything to hit with an 0-2 count. But now it's 2-2, you got to finish the deal. I thought that one looked good from here. The height was good. I
Yeah.
can't tell quite inside outside, but that one will bring the count full 3-2.
Yeah, this is good work. Start from 0-2, bring it back. Kept it alive with the foul, and now it's a full count.
It's been working the count for sure. He fouled that one off his knee, and we'll do it again at 3-2.
And this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat here.
Schnepp takes the sign, checks his little playbook that he has there on his left wrist, and sends down the message to our pitcher. Comes set, and the payoff pitch. Missed a bit high, and it'll take ball 4. That's a walk.
Really great at-bat there from Stamatis.
Oh, we can't be upset with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's starting off the game. It looked great after 2 strikes, but he fought back and have a leadoff runner here for Trinity.
We saw that yesterday, too. Trinity got off to a good start in the first inning. They had a bit of a lead after the first inning. I think they put up 1 run, and that really set the tone for them the whole game. Up next is Matt Toth. He's the left fielder. And
Pickoff attempt first.
it was a pickoff attempt at first. We saw that several times yesterday. There was
Oh, yeah.
just as many pickoff attempts as there were base runners. It was a bit outrageous. Runner goes, throw down to second, and he's going to be out. That would be Will
great
Shackelford getting the tag there on the hip. Out goes the runner.
Yes, Stamatis had 3 stolen bases yesterday, but on his first try here, we eliminate the leadoff runner from
And they
for Tufts.
They knew he was going, too. They had the pickoff attempts, and they came up firing. That last pitch there was a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And make that 0-2.
See if Greeley can finish off this guy. It's his 2nd straight 0-2 start.
He's been getting ahead early, but in the last at-bat, he had to kind of battle his way back into it and end up losing to the walk. That was a good change up there. Fell a little bit low, but it was a little tantalizing. He wanted to swing at it.
Yep. Just test him, see if he'll fight for it, fish for it.
Here's the 1-2. He fouled that one off his back foot. Toth hangs strong at 1-2. And again, that one bounces in, bringing the count even to 2-2.
That's the 3rd ball in dirt, I think, and that one was like 2 feet out in front of home
Yeah,
plate.
these we can see pretty clearly. I'm standing pretty much even with the top of the batter's box, and that bounced about a foot before the batter's box starts. It's the 2-2. Missed low and outside. That brings the count full to 3-2. So the 2nd full count.
Well, looks like Greeley's going to throw a lot of pitches today.
Trinity batters definitely should be being patient here. A payoff pitch. That's a ground ball foul down the first base line. Faulkson gave chase, but ended up on the wrong side of the bag there. Kind of interesting to see our starter, Greeley, here. He's only pitching from the stretch. He has one of the best ERAs in the team right now, but no windup from out of the gate. Out. 3-2 pitches fouled back. That's going to take out a piece of a car there. So the Trinity, what's their name again?
Bantams.
The Trinity Bantams. I'm sorry. The Trinity Bantams are hanging tough. They're really working deep into counts. 2 batters in so far. That's a ground ball. A little dribbler down the 3rd base line. Has it. It's the great play there to the hot corner, making the play. That would be 5-3.
It's a good start, even though we've had some full counts and it's been close. 2 batters up, 2 batters down, even though the walk.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play there by Tommy O'Howard. He really had to charge that ball to give himself a chance to make the play at first and made a good throw on the run. Up next is Matt Koperniak. He's the shortstop for the Trinity Bantams. He's first pitch swinging. It's a ground ball to the 2nd baseman. Throws on to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Tufts Jumbos.
Always happy to start with 3 up, 3 down to start the game.
So it's 3 up, 3 down. We had 1 walk, no hits, no runners left on base, and no runs in. So that's going to take us out of the top of the first. Let's see what the Jumbos can do in their half the inning. We'll be back for that.
Tufts coming to bat. Here is your lineup for the Tufts Jumbos. Batting first and playing center field, number 34, Justin Mills. Batting second and playing third base, number 24, Tommy O'Hara. Batting third and playing right field, Malcolm Nachmanoff. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 16, John Michella. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 32, Nick Foxton. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 23, Ryan Day. Batting seventh and playing center field, number 4, batting seventh and playing second base, number 8, Ryan Dawes. Batting eighth and catching, number 25, Eric Schneff. Batting ninth and playing shortstop, number 1, Will Shackelford. And the pitcher is number 17, Brent Greeley.
And we're back here at Huskins Field for the bottom of the first inning where your Tufts Jumbos are coming up. Their batting order is as follows. So batting first is center fielder Justin Mills. Batting second, third baseman Tommy O'Hara. Batting third, the right fielder, Malcolm Nachmanoff. Batting fourth, the designated hitter John Michella. Batting fifth, Nick Foxton. He is the first baseman. Batting sixth, the left fielder Ryan Day. Batting seventh, the second baseman Ryan Dawes. Batting eighth, the catcher Eric Schempf. And batting ninth, the shortstop Will Shackelford. Pitching today for Trinity is number 33, Alex Schaefer. He's 1-2 on the year with a 2.70 ERA. His first pitch comes in there for strike 1 to Justin Mills.
Yeah, Justin Mills, I believe, came in as a defensive substitution yesterday, so he hasn't been at the plate yet this series.
Saw a little bit of action, but yeah, we haven't seen an at-bat from him yet. He bats from the left side, he digs in there. Stands pretty far up in the batter's box. He's swings the second pitch, it's a fly ball out into right field. That'll send the right fielder back to the warning track where he rings in to make the play.
Solid contact to start.
That was Christian Orsini making the play out there in right field. He had to travel a long way to get to that ball, but managed to bring it down. That brings up Tommy O'Hara, the hard-hitting third baseman from the Jumbos.
Yesterday, O'Hara was 1 for 4 with a run.
Yeah, he contributed to that 7th inning bit of action from the Jumbos. That was their biggest inning of the game by far. And he takes ball 1 there. Schaefer with the 1-0. Tommy comes swinging for the fences, bringing the count to 1-1. Schaefer seems to be moving at a bit of a quicker pace than Greeley does early on. And he is also pitching from the windup, not the stretch. This is the 1-1 pitch. That one's popped straight up. A-Rod dives for it, but it ends up being third baseman who makes the third baseman who makes the play. That was Ben Reinisch.
And those are always the tough plays. Foul right behind home plate. It's really tough to see and went really high up, but really good play there from Reinisch.
I thought that one was going into the dugout. It was right in that area, almost on the warning track in front of the dugout. That brings up our number 3 guy. That's Malcolm Nachmanoff. He's playing right field today for the Jumbos. He digs in very far back in the batter's box. His foot is on the line, the Raiders batter. And he takes the first pitch in for a strike.
Nachmanoff's been hitting one of the leading hitters for the Jumbos thus far this season, hitting .405.
And he comes up swinging and he drives a foul ball down the left field line. I'll get out play. Kind of interesting to have him batting third if he's their leading hitter. The third batter in the lineup always comes up with no one on and 2 outs more than any other batter.
Yeah.
He's worked himself to an 0-2 count. Digs in for the 0-2 pitch. And he's called out on strikes, and that is our second 1-2-3 half inning. That's a backwards K.
I think he thought that one was a little high.
For the top of the second.
Score at the end of 1 inning. Trinity nothing, Tufts nothing. Leading off for Trinity, number 6, the designated hitter.
And we're back at Huskins Field for the top of the second. Trinity is sending Eric Thronson to lead things off. Cooper Mooney is on deck with Brennan Pierce in the hole. One thing to note with this game is this is going to be played for 7 innings. We have a second game coming after this, so it's a 7-inning, 9-inning doubleheader. Thronson digs in. He has the first pitch swing, and it's a ground ball down the first baseline, foul. We didn't see Thronson yesterday. What should we expect from him?
Well, Thronson's a freshman. He hasn't been in too many games, but he's made the most of his appearances, batting .375 in just 7 games.
And he looks in for the 0-1 pitch. That's in there for strike 2. And Greeley's up 0-2 on yet another batter. We've seen that a couple times already. He's getting ahead early in counts, which is critical in this game. He's really showing no fear in attacking the heart of the lineup here. And Thronson goes down swinging on a pitch that was just a bit out of the zone down low.
That's a nice off-speed pitch there. He tried that a couple other times when he was ahead 0-2, but he finally got one of them to chase for it.
Thronson, in addition to having a decent batting average, also has 4 strikeouts through 5 strikeouts through 17 at bats. So he seems to be a bit of a hit or K guy, not afraid to swing the bat. Up now is Cooper Meany. He's the second baseman. He looks in and takes ball 1. It's the 0-1 pitch. That's a ground ball right up the middle, fielded by the shortstop and tossed on to first, but the throw is a little bit wild. I'll pull him off the bag and he'll be safe at first.
Yep, that'll probably be an error for Will Shackelford here.
Yep, that's an error for the shortstop, Will Shackelford.
Number 7, Brendan Pierce.
That's really only the first blip we've seen so far in this game defensively. And yesterday, both teams played very solid defense. We only had 1 error on either side. Now let's see what Pierce can do here. He's their center fielder. He digs in from the right side of the plate, the left side of the plate. There's a pickoff attempt there, nothing doing over at first base. You can hear the chorus of back being yelled by the Trinity bench. Everyone is paying attention in this game. They're all up on the rail. First pitch in there for strike 1. Again, he's getting ahead in counts. We've seen that pretty much every time. He's really attacking the strike zone early. See if Trinity can start to make some early swings and catch up to that. Comes and gets the side. Another pickoff attempt. He dives back safely. Mooney doesn't appear to be taking that huge of a lead. It's kind of surprising to see so many pickoff attempts.
Yeah, he
just wanna
actually
keep him close.
He hasn't had any stolen bases so far this season.
0-1 pitch was fouled back out of play over by our stands. And brings the counts at 0-2.
0-2, sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit today.
Yesterday, Pierce was 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI, so he'll be looking to add to that RBI total right here.
Yeah, he had a good day yesterday. The 0-2 pitch. It's a ball outside, I believe. That brings the count to 1-2. There's one down here in the top of the second. No score for anyone. No hits for anyone. Here's Greeley's 1-2. That one's also a bit low. Brings the count even to 2-2. Greeley seems to be in a bit of a pattern. He gets ahead early and throws a couple pitches in the dirt.
Yeah.
But then eventually seems to work it out, as we've seen so far for
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game, though, because all these balls in the dirt, you're always risking the pass ball, a wild pitch.
That one looked good from here. I don't know whether it was high, low, outside, or inside, but whatever it was, our umpire didn't like it. That brings the count full to 3-2. Apparently Pierce didn't like it either because he wasn't swinging at it. Runner goes, and that's ball four on a pitch that to me looked good, but who am I to say? My view isn't the best view. I'll put runners on first and second with one down, bring up the right fielder, Christian Orsini.
Number 17, Christian Orsini.
That's now the third runner that the Bantams have had, even though they have no hits. But they have a good opportunity here. 2 on, just 1 out.
That's 2 walks early on here for Greeley. That doubles his season total. Here's his first pitch. And it's in there for strike 1. Orsini was busy yesterday in right field there. Several balls hit his way. He played all of them pretty well. Here's the 0-1. Again, 0-2. We've seen this on just about every batter so far.
Yeah, Orsini yesterday didn't make a huge impact at the plate, just 0 for 3. But on the season, he's been hitting .444, 8 for 18 in at-bats.
It's kind of surprising to see him batting 7th then.
Yeah.
That pitch was going to be just a bit outside. That brings the count to 1-2. I would expect to see Greeley try and keep this ball low in the zone, try to get that ground ball double play ball. And Orsini would like anything besides a double play after going 0 for 3 yesterday. That's a single into right field. The runner is being held at third, and it's a good thing because that throw in from the right fielder is very strong. They know not to run on Knockman off. I'll load the bases on our first hit of the day.
Yep, that's a solid piece of hitting. You're not looking to do too much. Still early in the game, but just a base knock. Leaves the bases loaded for A-Rod.
Wow, the bases are loaded for Alex Rodriguez. I never thought I got to say that before. But here he is digging in. He's the catcher for this team, not the third baseman. We were debating yesterday whether he was more of a Pudge or an A-Rod, and I think the consensus with it is that he was more like A-Rod than Pudge. We'll see what he can do here. He's batting the 8th spot ahead of Ben Reinich, who's on deck. First pitch is in there for strike 1. He continues to attack the strike zone early in counts.
Yesterday, Rodriguez was 0 for 3, but he'll be looking to change that in order to get the Bantams on the board here.
And the 0-1 pitch. And the 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2, 0-2 yet again. I think we should expect to see the Jumbos going home here. There's one down. And they didn't turn a double play yesterday. They had one that was close. But I think we see the plays to home. Here's the 0-2. Pitch is a bit outside. That brings the count to 1-2. Shem checks his playbook. Something you usually see on a quarterback in the NFL, not so much for a catcher. But it's an interesting take, and it seems to be working out for him. They had that going yesterday as well. That's a ground ball up the middle. They're looking to turn 2. On to second, and the play to first. That's a double play to end the inning. And that's the exact ground ball that you're looking for. It's a perfect ground ball. That's 4-6-3 on the double play, and the Jumbos get out of a jam. We'll be back for the bottom of the second inning where the Jumbos try to get some action going on the offensive side of the ball.
In the second inning for Trinity, no runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Tufts error. There were 2 men left on base.
This inning, right here, let's
At the end of an inning and a half, we are scoreless. Leading off for the Jumbos, number 16, John Mashala.
And stepping in here for the bottom of the second is the designated hitter, John Mashala. Everyone from the dugout here is calling him Johnny Mo, which is a great baseball nickname.
Yep, he's their DH today, and yesterday he was brought in as a pinch hitter.
Was he a pitch hitter in the 9th inning, if I'm not mistaken?
That might be right, yeah.
Comes in, looks at the first pitch. It's a called strike. Looked a bit low from here. Definitely an off-speed pitch, but it's in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Pitch is in there for strike 2. The count comes to 0-2. We've been saying that a lot today.
That looks like almost the same pitch as the last one, but just wasn't ready for it.
And the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, and that is a line drive right back at the pitcher. Schaefer there made an amazing play to catch that in the air. It's a line out to the pitcher.
That's fielding your position. Don't need a defense. You can do all the work yourself. That's a really just a reaction play. You know,
Yeah,
it's coming right back at you.
The other 7 guys out there, they're just for show.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll bring up Nick Faulkson. He's the first baseman today for the Jumbos. He has already been a little busy there, having to jump around a bit at first base. He swings at the first pitch, fouls it off backwards towards our stands, which are pretty full.
Yeah,
the Jumbos bench is very enthusiastic here in this second inning. People were saying this is the time, strike now, strike while it's hot. And in comes the 0-1 pitch. And that is a line out to the second baseman. So the Tufts has put the ball in play and hit the ball hard, just right at the Bantam defenders.
Yep, but keep hitting the ball hard. Sometimes they'll go your way. It's really a good sign. It's better than, you know, strikeouts, ground balls. Making good contact.
That brings up the left fielder, Ryan Day. It's 2 down here in the second inning. He takes the first pitch a bit high. It's ball 1. And the 1-0. That's in there for strike 1, even the count at 1-1.
Schaefer's had a pretty nice off-speed pitch here. He's used it a few times this inning.
And there it is again. That comes in for strike 2. He has been definitely utilizing that changeup, and you could hear the frustration coming off of Faulkson as he came to the bench. So he swung as hard as he could at that pitch, but it only resulted in a dribbler to second. Stay alive. Dave fouls that off. The count stays at 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. And that's strike 3 swinging. Day goes down on strikes, and that is the second 1-2-3 inning for the Jumbos. That's no runs, no hits, no errors, and no man left on base. The Jumbos are yet to make it to first base here. They'll come back for the top of the third, and we're hoping to see some action out of the Jumbos in that inning. We'll be back for that.
For the Bantams, number 2, Ben Reinish.
Ben Reiner steps in for the top of the third here. He's the number 9 hitter, and he's playing third base. He's coming into the game having played 8 games. He's 3 for 22 in his at-bats, so he's hoping to do a little bit better than that here in this game. He digs in from the righty batter's box.
Yep, he's had 7 strikeouts so far, so.
Greeley comes in with the first pitch, comes in a bit low as a fastball, just a tad low. We expect him to be attacking the zone here as he's shown through the first 2. He settled in okay in the second inning. He had a little bit of control trouble. But he got that second pitch right in there, right down the middle. Is strike 1. Brings the count to 1-1. He did manage to get out unscathed, though, which is key. No runs so far here for either team. And here's the 1-1. That one I think was a bit high. It brings the count to 2-1.
Yep, and I think after the last inning, since you put yourself in a jam, but you got out of it, maybe you're thinking, all right, give yourself momentum. We ended with a double play. We stymied their offense. We'll see if we can keep doing it.
And he missed there again. That brings the count to 3-1. So the hitters count him. I would expect to see a fastball down the middle here. Sure enough, there it comes, and he fouled it off. I think he fouled it off himself. He hobbled around there a bit. Reinich did. Foul ball made it all the way to the third baseman.
And we're left with another full count. That's already the 4th on the day.
Yeah, the Trinity team has really been working deep into counts, staying strong, even though getting behind early in most of them, and forcing Greeley to make some less than ideal pitches here in this inning, or in this game so far. And here's the full count. And that is driven to right field, but that's going to land foul.
And these full counts are exactly what Trinity wants. I mean, Greeley has been really great for the jumbo so far, but when you throw a lot of pitches, you think you'll have to take him out earlier, and that's exactly what you want, go deep into the bullpen for the Bantams.
Absolutely. Trinity knows that there's a second game after this, too, so they're trying to get into the bullpen as soon as possible. And that's a hard-hit ground ball to the third baseman. He sticks with it, makes a great throw onto first, and that's 5-3 in the first out of the inning.
He has a hard-hit ball there at the hot corner, but really nice to stop it.
O'Hara played that very, very well. Yeah. He knocked it down. He kept it in front of him. He didn't catch it cleanly, but he stuck with it and made the play to first. It's really important that he made a good throw there, because it's when the throw's in the dirt, it makes it a hard play in the first baseman. But he stuck with it, made a great play. That brings us through the lineup once, and stepping in again is Johnny Stamatis. He walked his first time up and comes in and takes ball 1. Really looks in and delivers the 1-0. That one's fouled back behind the backstop, bringing the count to 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. It's a bit high, taking ball 2. We've seen a little bit less of the 0-2 counts here in this third inning, where we'd like to see him calm down a bit and just throw it in there. 2-1 pitch is low. That brings us to the second 3-1 count of the inning. Once again, I'm thinking fastball, middle in.
Yeah, you got a hitter's count here. Stamatis is looking for something to drive.
That pitch is way too high out of the zone, neck high, and he'll take his second walk of the day. That already is the third walk here for Greeley. He's got to just relax and throw strikes. Easier said than done, of course. It's easy for me when I'm standing here and he's up there.
Schneff did walk out to the pitcher's mound, tried to calm him down. We'll see if he can get back on track here.
And Matt Toth steps in. He grounded out to the third baseman on the hot corner earlier. And he's stepping in from the righty batter's box and is taking the first pitch. Oh, no. There's a pickoff attempt to the first baseman. We've seen that on every single time there's been a runner on first this game. There's been immediately a pickoff attempt before any pitch is thrown.
Yeah, and Stamatis is definitely the guy that they want to keep track of, because he's got the speed.
That's true. He had, what, 3 stolen bases yesterday?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure he was the one who had 2 stolen bases taken back. He went from first to third and then was sent back on batter interference.
That's right.
And that pitch is driven into left field. That'll be a single. Toth marking his way into the hit column.
Yeah, that's
moves up to second.
Solid drive. First pitch of the at-bat, even though it took 3 throws because of the pickoff attempts. But makes it first and second for the Bantams. 1 out. Same situation as last time. We'll see if Greeley can get out of it again.
The problem is this time they have the heart of the order coming out. This is Matt Koperniak, the shortstop for the Bantams. It's the first pitch. Bounces in there for ball 1.
Koperniak has played every game so far for the Bantams, and he's averaging .422, including 6 RBIs. So
that's not the guy you want coming up right now. And he's taking a long look there at second base before delivering the 1-0. That one's in there for a strike, evening the count to 1-1. Yeah, Koperniak has been playing quite a bit. He bats early in the lineup, so he bats early and often. And he's been driving the ball. He's hitting very well. He has one of 3 home runs for the Trinity Bantams, and he would love to do that here. And said he hits a ground ball to the first baseman. He thought about going to second, instead goes to first, where he makes a bang-bang play. It was a bit of indecision there from Foxton, but he ended up making the play. He got the runner at first. That brings up 2 outs, but runners now move to second and third.
Yeah, he was looking at first to make a throw to third, but he just didn't really have time. Stamatis is fast, and that's a tough play. Nearly didn't even get the out at first because Greeley was a little slow covering the bag, but at least got 1 out, so just need 1 more to get out of the inning.
This brings up Thronson. He struck out his last time swinging, but he's also their cleanup hitter here. He takes ball 1, it's a bit outside. We've seen Greeley kind of not hitting the strike zone early on here, as we saw in the first couple innings, but he's trying to even the count here and does just that. That brings the count to 1-1. After only 2 hits, the Trinity team has gotten themselves into good positions to score some runs. Tufts getting themselves into a couple jams with an error early on. And the 1-1 pitch after a long look at second base. That one's a swinging strike for strike 2. Brings the count to 1-2. You can hear when this calls coming from the Tufts dugout. They're very behind their pitcher here, their star Greeley. He looks in for the sign. Comes set. Check second, and the 1-2. Just a bit outside. That brings the count to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. No runs in for either team. Greeley looks in for the 1-2 pitch. Comes set. And the pitch. That one's popped straight up in the air. And the third baseman O'Hara has it, lands in foul territory, and that will end the inning. Again, the Jumbos get out of a jam with 2 runners in scoring position, but there are no runs in. There's 1 hit, and that will end the top of the third. We'll see if the Jumbos can get the bat started here in the bottom of the third. We'll be back right for that. Don't go anywhere. And we're back for the bottom of the third. The bottom three are expected up for Tufts. That's Dawes, Schumpf, and Shackelford. Dawes, we didn't really see yesterday, but he comes in having 7 games played. He's batting .292 on the year, and he has 7 RBIs, so he's been producing when he's been put in. Actually, I'm sorry, he has 8 games played. And we'll look to see if the bottom of the order can get things started here for the Jumbos, which we actually saw yesterday. I believe it was Shackelford that had the bunt down the third base line to get things started. I'm pretty sure he was batting in the 6th or 7th spot. So the bottom of the order started things off for the Jumbos yesterday. Let's see if they can do so today. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. It's another off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. That's from Schaefer. He's definitely been favoring that off-speed pitch, throwing it just as much as his fastball.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes in for the 0-1 pitch. That's a swinging drive into left field. It sends the left fielder back. He's under it and reels it in for the first out of the inning.
That's another pretty solid contact that the Jumbos have had, but they haven't quite been able to find the holes in between the fielders.
Yeah, so far pretty much all their hits have been right at players. They've hit the ball hard several times, but can't do much if you hit it right where the guys are.
Yeah, there are 2 fly balls.
That brings up catcher Eric Schumpf. He takes ball 1.
Yeah, the 2 fly balls have both been pretty deep, but it's not quite deep enough for this field.
Schumpf comes in. He's a junior. This is his 6th game that he's played in. He comes in, just takes strike 1 there, bringing the count to 1-1. He hasn't batted too hot this year. He's only batting right around 200, but he's hoping to get the good wood on it here and get things started for the Jumbos. Counts now 2-1, the ball 2. And Schaefer really has a quick cadence here. He's moving very, very quickly. But then he throws the off-speed pitch every time, so it takes an extra second for it to get there. It brings the count to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one was a fastball. Misses outside. That brings the count full to 3-2.
Yeah, he's been using a lot of that where he gets it to 2 strikes with the off speed, but then tries to finish him off with the fastball.
Payoff pitch. And that one bounces in there, and the Jumbos will take their first base runner on ball 4.
Good at bat there. Went down in the count a little bit, but was patient. Took the walk. It's the first base runner for the Jumbos, and you'll take it any way you can get it.
And Shackelford wants to keep this little bit of life here alive. If he can get on base, the top of the order comes up. Nothing better when you're the 9 guy and you can keep things going. Everyone's excited by that. First pitch is in there for a strike. And Shackelford's been able to do that. He comes in batting .406, just like the great Ted Williams. So that's a pretty happy number to have.
Yeah.
Pick-off attempt. He was back on the bag before it left the pitcher's hand. Not much doing there for Schumpf. He also doesn't have any stolen bases here in the year. I don't think he's that big of a threat to go anywhere. He's not taking a big lead. But the 0-1 pitch comes in. Strike 2, again with that off-speed pitch. It's very, very different from his fastball. Noticeable even from here.
That'll be the real big task for the Jumbos if they can really adjust to the off-speed and the fastballs.
Oh, and he gets called out on strikes on a pitch that he seemed to think was high and outside, and I might agree with him. But that's a backwards K for the bottom of the lineup, Shackelford.
That's the 3rd strikeout already for Schaefer.
So 2 down, 1 on first for Justin Mills. We've gone through the lineup once so far. Mills is trying to improve on his last at-bat where he actually drove the ball pretty hard down the right field line. Just a good play by the right fielder to get under it and make the play. He takes strike 1. Another pickoff attempt there at first, and his half-step lead makes it back without a problem. Justin Mills just fouls off the 0-1 pitch and brings the count to 0-2. Schaefer actually just checked second base there, even though there was no runner on second. It was an interesting play. I've never seen that one before.
just making sure no one arrived.
Hey, no one was going. It's all right. Takes a look at first and comes set for the 0-2. And Mills was way out ahead of that. It was the off-speed pitch yet again. And that sends the Jumbos down. So they have no runs, no hits. There were no errors on it. They did have a walk, so that's one runner left on base. We're down more or less halfway through our game because it's only the 7th inning game. And there's no score so far. We'll be back for the top of the 4th in just a couple minutes.
Can you see the shortstop?
And we're back for the top of the 4th. That's the first pitch is a bit high, ball 1. We have a defensive change to announce. Will Burgess has taken over for Will Shackelford, but the middle infielders have switched. So Burgess is at second, and Dawes has moved over to shortstop. The second pitch comes in for a ball. It's ball 2. So it's the first 2 pitches are balls.
Burgess takes over at second base. Will Dawes moves to shortstop.
Up to the plate right now is Connor Mooney, the second baseman.
He reached on an error last time. And Schnepp does walk out to Greeley to calm him down after a 2-0 start.
We've seen a bit of a control issue here for Greeley early on, but he's managed so far to get out with no trouble. And that one's right up the middle. That's a base hit into center field.
Yeah, even though he hasn't given up any runs, there have been a lot of batters, and it's a dangerous game to play. For Trinity, you feel like if you just keep giving yourself these opportunities, you're going to get across the plate a few times.
And that's a leadoff hitter on base. There's one on, nobody out. And that brings up Brandon Pierce, the center fielder. On deck is Christian Orsini, the right fielder. And another pickoff attempt with no pitch thrown to the batter. We've seen that every single time so far. I don't think anyone was surprised by it.
Yep, he did it last time when Mooney was on, so they must think that he's a threat to steal. Even though he has no stolen bases, he has been caught stealing a couple times, so you know he might try.
Yeah, he's been caught twice. He's been unsuccessful so far. And that first pitch is in there for a swing strike. I think the pitch itself was actually a bit low, but we'll take the strikes anywhere they come. Greeley looks in. Has a quick look over to first. Runner holds. And that pitch is driven out to center field. And he's under it, makes the play. That was Justin Mills reeling that one in and getting it back in, keeping the runner at first.
High fly ball, but not very deep. That's a pretty routine fly ball there for Mills. And it'll keep the runner at first as well.
So that's one away. That brings up Christian Orsini. He's the right fielder. Alex Rodriguez is on deck. He looks in for the first pitch of the at-bat. And he actually delivers it this time, but he bounces that one in. Great stop there behind the plate for Shemp.
Yeah, that's a huge stop. Prevents the runner from getting to scoring position.
The wind has picked up a little bit here at Huskins Field. It's now blowing from right field in towards home plate. And here comes the 1-0. Runner goes. That's a hit and run. Pitch is driven out to center field where it's reeled in pretty easily. And it's just keeping him busy out there. That is Mills reeling that one in as well.
Just about the same place where he caught the last one. And
so that's 2 down for A-Rod coming up. He grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, so he doesn't have to worry about that this time. There's 2 away.
Yep.
But he's hoping to have a little bit of an offensive spurt here. So check with the runner before any pitch is thrown yet again. Really actually throws to the plate this time, and that's a ground ball over to the field by the third baseman on to first to end the inning. So that is a 5-3 ground out. So that is no runs and 1 hit, 1 left on base for Trinity, and then we'll be back for the bottom of the 4th, where hopefully Tufts. Tommy O'Hara set to lead things off for the Jumbos here in the bottom of the 4th. He's hoping to get the offensive train started a little bit.
He's been batting .341 so far this year, although 11 strikeouts and 14 walks, so he's been getting on base a lot.
He digs in from the left side of the plate. And here's the first pitch. It's in there for strike 1. And here's the second pitch. That's swing. That's a line drive right at the first baseman. That's the 3rd line out so far for the Jumbos. They've hit the ball hard, just right at the fielders for the Bantams. Brings up Malcolm Nachmanoff. He's a righty, and he is batting 3rd, so he's been the big offensive hopes here for the Jumbos, and he takes the first pitch here. And it's a bit low for ball 1. And the 0-1 pitch. It's in there for strike 2. I thought it looked a little bit low. And we can only really see height here. We can't see inside outside. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That one is outside. That's ball 2. Brings the count to 2-1. And hitter's count now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's driven into left field if it stays fair. Nope, that's going to be a foul ball. It will even the count at 2-2. It was a hard hit ball, and it wasn't hit near one of the fielders for the Bantams. Unfortunately, it just didn't land in fair territory. The wind might have carried it a bit. It's blowing in towards foul territory that way.
Yeah, it's a really solid piece of hitting. Just need to straighten out a little bit and have a chance for Jumbo's first hit of the day.
Again, that was on that off-speed pitch. It really had the Jumbos out in front of a lot of their pitches so far. That's what we saw there. Nachmanoff digs in. Very far back in the batter's box, despite all the off-speed pitch. That's the fastball in there. It's way up high. Brings the count full to 3-2. And the payoff pitch. It's the changeup. And that's a first hit for the Jumbos. That's a single into right field, or left field, forgive me. He took a wide turn there, but we'll hold it first for the single.
And
the Jumbos get on the hitting board there. It's their first hit of the day.
Yeah, that's he saw the off-speed pitch. It's always, this time he was able to straighten it out just a little bit. He was still a little bit out in front, which is why it went down the line, but it stayed fair, and it's good for the first hit of the game for the Jumbos.
So 1 down, 1 on for the Jumbos. Now for Johnny Moschella, Johnny Mo as they call him. He's their cleanup hitter. And he takes ball 1. There's a pickoff attempt at first base. We haven't seen one of those in about 3 minutes, so they were due.
Michelle is batting .387 so far this year with 12 hits.
If they ever actually pitch to him. That pitch is fouled off there. It brings the count to 1-1. He's had 4 doubles too, so he's hit the ball pretty hard. There's another pickoff attempt.
I'm surprised they're keeping it on so far, although it seems like everyone likes to have pickoff attempts, but Nachmanov hasn't had any stolen bases or
attempts.
Yeah, or attempts, so.
And that ball's hit sky high. The center fielder ended up fielding that, and he reels it away for out number 2. Looks like it was one of those triangle plays where the ball kind of falls in between all 3 of them, but it was good communication. First, the shortstop called off the second baseman, the center fielder called everyone off and made the play.
Yep, and that's really what you need from a center fielder. He needs to take charge, say, this is my ball, I can catch it. Outfielder has an easier shot at it coming into the ball.
And we saw an issue with that yesterday, actually, between the right fielder and the second baseman. There's a bit of a collision, but they still managed to make the play. And that brings up Nick Falson, the first baseman. Another pickoff attempt. And he dives back safely, but that was the closest one so far of the day, I think.
Yeah.
And he is taking a bit of a bigger lead than some of the other Jumbos have been so far. And the first pitch. It's that off-speed pitch, and it comes in for strike 1. It's got to be like 20 miles an hour difference. The difference is actually amazing. He stares in, shakes off a sign, makes a pickoff attempt just for good measure. Guess he didn't like the sign. Maybe he'll give him a different one this time. You see a lot of big league pitchers that will never shake off their catcher. I've never seen like Chris Sale shake off a catcher before.
Interesting.
But this guy here, Schaefer, seems to know what he wants to pitch, and it seems to be that off-speed pitch because it's been working for him.
Yeah, Foxton thought about swinging at that one, but turns out he should have. Came in for a strike.
0-2 count here, 2 outs with a runner on first. He takes that pitch a bit outside. That brings the count to 1-2. And Schaefer's ready to go. He was ready to make the pitch before he was even in the batter's box there. He was already looking in, trying to figure out what he was doing next. Here's the 1-2. And that's hit hard at the third baseman who fields on a bounce. Makes a good throw over to first to end the inning. So that is the first hit of the day for the Jumbos in the 4th, but they go down without any runs here on the board. Still 0-0 for the score, and we'll be back for the top of the 5th. We're back here for the top half of the 5th inning. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Ben Reinich. On deck is the top of the order, Stamatis. He grounded out to the third baseman the last time up, and he had a hard-hit ground ball. That was fielded very well there, down in the hot corner by O'Hara. O'Hara's been busy this game. That first pitch was in there for ball 1.
Yeah, they call it the hot corner for a reason.
Second pitch,
a little
maybe a bit low, but misses nonetheless. Brings the count to 2-0. The entire Tufts dugout wanted that one for sure. It's the 2-0 pitch. That one's in there for strike 1, brings the count to 2-1. Another 2-1 pitch. That's a little flare hit out to shortstop, but he can't make the play. Ends up in the center field.
You have those bloops right in between the infield and the outfield. Really hard to get to.
Although they are going to give our shortstop, who is now Dawes, the error there. So that's an E6.
The first baseman, number 13, Johnny Stamatis.
I guess it's an error because it hit his glove maybe, but I don't know. That's a tough play to make.
Yeah, it was a hard one. He had to range over to, and it was in that kind of gray area where no one really plays. That was a good pickoff attempt, low throw, but he's back safely. Once again, we see a pickoff attempt. And Reinich, does he have any attempts here? Yeah, he has a stolen base in the year, and he's 1 for 1. It was a good idea to keep him safe, keep him honest.
He got on base. That's actually our second E6, even though it was a different player each time.
Different shortstops, but 2 E6s in the column so far for the Jumbos. The first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Stamatis, is not in there. It's ball 1.
Stamatis has 2 walks already on the day.
He's gone off. He had a 2-0 count in his last time up. This time he takes ball 1. That's strike 1. Again, he's showing patience as a leadoff hitter, which is often kind of rare. You don't see that all the time. But he's been working deep into counts and is now at 1-1 here in this one. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That one comes low and inside. It was a good play by the catcher to keep it in front of him. You might have been able to hear through our microphone, but the Tufts bullpen is someone starting to warm up and get ready. We're also here in the 5th inning. The 2-1 pitch. That's in there for strike 2. And Stamatis can't believe it. He did not think that that pitch was a strike. Evens the count up at 2-2. We have no outs, a runner on first. Gives a quick look over to first before throwing back. Nothing doing.
Stamatis is again deep in the count. Along with the 2 walks he's had today, he leads the team with 9 walks in the season. So.
And that pitch he fouls off to stay alive. Toss it back over to field A. Still 2-2 the count. Grealer takes a quick look over before delivering the pitch. That one bounces in, and it's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And Stamatis there took off for first base, but forgot that there was already a runner on first, so that wasn't a viable option. That's a strikeout swinging the forward K.
Yeah, if there's an open base or if there were 2 outs, you can run on a drop third strike, but not this time.
And Stamatis is quick, so that's probably what he was thinking. He knows he's fast. He's been an active base runner so far for Trinity. That brings up Matt Toth, and I didn't even bother announcing him. I knew they were going to throw a pickoff attempt before a pitch was thrown. So here comes the first pitch. And he swings at the first pitch, sends it out into right center field. Center fielder makes the play, brings it in for the second out of the inning. That's Justin Mills making that play out there.
That's a third fly ball to Mills, and second time in a row that Toth has swung at the first pitch. This time it was right to the center fielder, though.
It's kind of two different styles we've seen. We've seen some first pitch swinging. We've seen Stamatis taking a bunch of pitches and working deep into counts.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting difference between Stamatis very patient and Toth swinging at the first pitch twice now.
That brings up the 3-hitter. That's Matt Koperniak. He's a shortstop here for the Bantams. And the first pitch is in there for strike one. There's no pickoff attempt there. I was kind of surprised. I guess it's because there's 2 outs. Koperniak's the lefty here. He's stepping in for the second pitch, which is hit out into left center field. Left fielder's under it, and he reels it in for the third out of the inning. We're through 4 1/2. We have no score here. 3 hits for the Bantams, 1 hit for the Jumbos. And we'll be back for the bottom of the 5th, where hopefully we can see some runs get scored.
For Trinity in the 5th inning, no runs, no hits. There was 1 Tufts error and 1 left on base. Score at the end of 4 1/2. Trinity nothing, Tufts nothing.
You can't throw it by you. Just fucking sit on it. You cannot throw it by you. Sit, sit, sit. Sit, sit. Start later. Start later, baby. Hey, this is what we want right here, right? This is what we want right here, right? This is what we want right here. Like that tape. Let's go.
Leading off for the Jumbos, the left fielder, number 23, Ryan Day.
Leading off for the Jumbos in the bottom half of the 5th inning is Ryan Day, the left fielder. He struck out swinging his last time up and the second. Here's the first pitch. That's in there for strike one.
Yeah, he's batting just 214 on the year. 6 for 28 in at bats.
And he stares at strike two, so he's throwing him in there. And Foxton, who was the last hitter of the last inning, was telling everyone just to sit on the ball and to wait for it to come to him. And that pitch bounces in, so that landed about 4 inches in front of the plate. Brings the count to 1-2. Time is called. I'm not quite sure what is going on.
Conference now with the umpires. Coach for the Jumbos was saying something to the home plate umpire and saying something to Day. Not sure exactly what.
I think Day was saying something about his cleat, but I'm not quite sure what. And the umpire just points at the plate and says, "Let's play." I'm not too sure what's going on with that.
Whatever it was, it must not be too important because nothing's really changing here.
Count stands at 1-2, and here's the pitch. It's outside, evening the count to 2-2, working his way back into the count here. And he stays live, fouls that one off.
He's fighting here.
2-2. here's the 2-2 pitch. And that pitch is a blooper out into right field. That'll get in there for a base hit. It's a single for Day to lead things off for the Jumbos.
It's the first leadoff runner that the Jumbos have had, and that one came off the end of the bat. Not really solid contact, but it ended up just a flare out to right center, so you'll take it.
Now, Dawes, the shortstop, steps in. Dawes, the second baseman, flew out to left field to see if the shortstop can hit it where they aren't and keep this inning alive here. It's no outs, one runner on, and he went for the bunt but pops it up foul. He's trying to play small ball and get the runner to second.
Yeah, that one was a little too high. He ended up fouling it off back. We'll see if they go for a bunt again. In a low-scoring game, since we have no runs so far, sometimes small ball really pays off.
Dawes looked down there, took a whole set of signs from the third base coach.
Third baseman's on the grass waiting for it.
Runner goes, and so pitch is thrown away. So that's going to be a wild pitch, I think. And the runner took second there on that.
Yeah, and does the work of a bunt without having to give up an out. I mean, runner gets to second, and Dawes still up at the plate.
It seems like Day was confused as to whether that pitch was fouled or whether it was a wild pitch because he hesitated before he got to second.
Yeah.
And instead of looking at his third base coach, he looked down at the plate to figure out what was going on, which made the third base coach not too happy at him. But nonetheless, runner on second, nobody out. This is a huge opportunity here for the Jumbos to get on the board.
See if Dawes starts swinging now. He's been batting .292 on the year.
He's still bunting. Said takes the second ball of the at bat. The count is 2-1 now.
Bunt here would be even more powerful if they get Day to third, just 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the game.
And here's the 2-1 pitch after a long look to second base. And finally, time is called.
Third baseman is taking an interesting stance because he's getting ready to run in for the bunt, but he's just about facing first base because he wants to keep an eye on the runner. It's always a tough situation because third baseman wants to cover the bunt, but also cover third if he goes for the steal or something like that.
It's a tough position to be in. Runner holds, but the pitch is low. He didn't show bunt there, but he brings the count to 3-1. This truly is a hitter's count.
Yeah.
Generally, you see a fastball here in 3-1, but the last time we had this situation, we saw the changeup come into play.
Yeah, here I would say let him swing. It's a hitter's count.
I think you let him swing too. Here's the through-in pitch. And sure enough, he is swinging away, but he's still ahead of it on that changeup. Brings the count full to 3-2.
Yep, and with 2 strikes, bunt's definitely out of the picture, but we'll see if he can still make an impact. Just any base knock maybe can bring in a run.
Payoff pitch. It's a bit up high, and so he'll make his way down to first base.
Really great at-bat there from Dawes. Was patient. When he was going for the bunt, he made sure only to bunt when they're throwing a strike, and it leaves the Jumbos with men on first and second, and still no outs.
Yeah, so now coming up we have the catcher, Eric Schempf, but first we have a little conversation here at the mound. We might be seeing a pitching change here. Well, right now it looks just like a bit of a conversation.
Yeah, the whole infield's in.
A little meeting of the minds.
Meanwhile, Day is talking to the second base ump. They're out at second.
Yeah, just, having a conversation, seeing what he thinks of the weather, how nice this is. It's a significantly better day than we had yesterday. We had some rain early on that threatened the condition of the game, and then when we finally did start playing, it got a little cold and breezy. But today has been absolutely beautiful. You couldn't ask for better weather in March in New England.
Yeah. Now the home plate ump is out telling him, gotta play some baseball here,
I think he's just part of the conversation. He wants to know what's for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Quick update on the softball game that happens to be going on. Tufts currently appears to have a 2-1 lead in the top of the 5th over there. There's also a lacrosse game going on. I can't see the scoreboard from here, but I've heard at least one Tufts goal. So promising things from kind of all fields going on here. And now we're back to baseball for the catcher, Eric Shumps at bat. Ooh, he looks him back at second base. Did the whole little knee kick and then kind of lean backwards.
Yep. You can get away with those when you turn into second. It's not a balk as long as you don't cross your legs. Schneff is just 188. 188 on the year.
He takes
just
the
3 RBIs.
first pitch strike.
But he has a real opportunity now.
And he walked his last time up, so he's a patient hitter. And here's the 0-1. And he was showing bunt. Brings the count to 1-1.
More chance of a small ball here. Successful bunt has 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out if he manages to get it down.
Burgess is on deck. He hasn't had an at-bat today, but he also isn't batting super high in the year either. And on that pitch, that brings the count to 2-1. But you saw the third baseman charge in, and the the shortstop sprint all the way from second base to third base to cover third.
Yeah, that's an interesting rotation there. Since there's a man on second, they still need someone to cover third when the third baseman covers the bunt. So actually, first and third came in to cover the bunt, while the shortstop went to cover third where the lead runner would be.
Pitcher looks in for the 2-1 pitch.
Same rotation.
But they tried the pickoff attempt. Second baseman covering second there. He was back without a problem.
Good discipline there by Day, because you see the shortstop running out to third. Maybe you think, oh, I can take a bigger lead, but there's still a guy behind you they have to be careful of.
It's got to be pretty distracting as the batter to see all this movement going around in the infield. And he, instead of bunting, swings away, lofts into center field where he'll be retired for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, after all the action in the infield, it ends up being just a short fly ball. And unfortunately, it's not deep enough to advance the runners, so it's just 1 out now with man on first and second.
Brings up Will Burgess. This is his 5th appearance of the year. In his 6 at-bats so far, he does have a hit. And he's also walked 3 times. So he's been a patient hitter so far this year, and he's getting his first licks here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 down, 2 people on. And he's standing very far back in the batter's box, almost out of the box. And he fouls the first one back over our heads down the first base line. That brings the count to 0-1. And pitch comes set. Here's the pitch. Brings the count to 1-1. So again, was ready to swing, but was patient, has a good eye. Took that pitch. Was a bit low and away.
Yeah, Burgess, just a freshman. He hasn't played too much, just in 4 games, but he has a real opportunity to make a difference here.
And he has that third pitch of the at-bat called a strike. It seemed to be quite a bit low. Burgess isn't the tallest guy either on the team, but nonetheless called a strike. Brings the count to 1-2. And he hits this one on the ground at shortstop, and it's flubbed by the shortstop. So he'll reach safely. That should be an error on Koperniak.
Yeah. Yep, that's the 3rd error of the day at the shortstop position, and it's a pretty big one here because that was a chance for a double play to end the inning, but instead it's now bases loaded with just 1 out, and we're back to the top of the lineup for the Jumbos.
I think it's safe to say that Koperniak was took his eye off the ball a little bit earlier. He was already ready to turn the double play.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to do it. That brings up the top of the order. This is Justin Mills stepping in. He takes the first pitch. It's ball 1.
Starts more off speed. It was a little high on that one.
And the bases are full here, so this is the Jumbo's best opportunity they've had so far today. Here's the pitch. And that's a hit up into right center. That's going to bring it home at least one. Here comes the second runner home, and he's in safely. So that brings the score to 2-0 for the Jumbos. That erupts the stands. And that's the biggest break the Jumbos have had in the last 2 days that we've really seen. So that's an amazing sight to see.
Yep, huge hit there. First couple RBIs of the season here for Mills. And coming in the bottom of the fifth, it's pretty important. Just a couple innings left since this is just the first half of a doubleheader. And we still have first and second with just one out. There's plenty of room for more runs.
Batting for the Jumbos, the third baseman, number 24, Tommy O'Hara.
Tommy O'Hara comes up to keep it going. We now have runners at first and second with one down. And Tommy comes up swinging. He pops it straight up over towards the shortstop. He puts this one away. That's brings up two down. And now we have Malcolm Nachmanoff coming up to the plate. He is 1 for 2 in the day. He had a single. And pretty much stalled there because nothing else happened in that inning.
Nachmanov is the guy you want here, though. With 2 outs, you're looking to get more runs on the board. He already has 12 RBIs in the season, and with a man on second in scoring position, he's looking to add to that total.
Here's the first pitch. That's in their first strike. It's right at the knees. Nachmanoff's a senior. He's been in this position before. He's ready to hit. And he does that. He drives the ball into right field. And the right fielder ranges and makes a good play to bring that one in. And that'll end the inning. But nonetheless, the Jumbos get 2 and take a 2-0 lead. We'll be back here for the 6th inning. And we'll see who the Jumbos send out to pitch.
For Tufts in the fifth, 2 runs, 2 hits. There was 1 Bantam error and 2 left on base. Score at the end of 5 full innings. Tufts 2, Trinity nothing. Now pitching for Tufts, number 20, Jamie Weiss.
We're back for the top half of the 6th inning, and we have a new pitcher for the Tufts Jumbos. That is Jamie Weiss. He's number 20. He's a freshman here. He has come in relief a couple times. He has 7 innings pitched and already 11 strikeouts. So definitely expect to see not too much action going on here from him. Starting things off is the designated hitter, Eric Thronson.
Number 19, Carter Snyder.
Oh, apparently not. We have a change. Now is number 19, Carter Snyder. And that first pitch is a bit high. That's ball 1. Snyder's a senior. He hasn't actually had an at-bat yet on the year. And he steps in, takes ball 2. Snyder has drawn 3 walks. He just doesn't have an at-bat. He fouls that one off. That brings the count to 2-1. That pitch is a bit up high. That brings the count to 3-1. Weiss is trying to find his ground here a little bit.
Yeah, not the count you're looking for, coming in as basically the setup man since it's the second to last inning, but.
And that's ball 4. So that's 5 pitches and 4 balls. And Snyder draws yet another walk.
Not the start you want from Weiss, but Schneff will talk to him for a second, try to calm him down. And we'll be getting a pinch runner as well for the Bantams.
And that is number 14.
That's Jeff Stillman.
Number 14, Jeff Stillman.
Stillman is a junior. He does have a stolen base in the year. This will be the 10th game that he's gotten into. Up now is Cooper Mooney, the second baseman. And sure enough, we see a pickoff attempt. That was more of just a, you have to do it. They've done it so far.
Yeah.
You got to keep up your image a little bit.
Of course, and they brought in this pinch runner almost certainly because of his speed, so you might be looking for him to run.
And he's got a big lead too. Doesn't go here, but instead the first pitch goes a bit high. It's ball 1. So it's manager's coming out now to have a little chat with our new pitcher, Jamie Weiss here.
Yeah, he's had a lot of high heat. Just needs to keep it down, keep his composure, and oh well, they'll be taking him out after just 1 batter and 1 pitch.
Coach Casey has seen enough out of the freshman. He's time for pitching change. He's bringing in number 33, who is Ian Kinney.
Yeah, so Kinney will be warming up here. He'll be starting with a 1-0 count to Cooper Mooney, and maybe Weiss was really in for the lefty with Carter Snyder. Not sure there, but after a lot of high pitches, they'll be bringing in a new guy. See if he can get him out of the jam. We have a leadoff runner here for the Bantams, which means they'll be looking to get their first run on the board.
And Kinney comes in. This is his 5th appearance. He's had 8 innings, 9 earned runs against him. But he's going to come in and try to settle things down here in the 6th inning. One of his appearances was a start, and he's 0-1. It's got to be tough if you're Cooper Mooney. That's middle of your at bat. You've got to face 2 different pitchers.
Yep.
It's definitely got to throw you off a little bit. Granted, he only saw 1 pitch from the other guy, but you go through your whole system, you're ready to go. Baseball players are super superstitious.
Oh, yeah.
And they run through their whole thing, and this really throws that all off.
Yeah, and the important thing here is while Kinney was warming up, you need to time the pitcher, see his speed maybe, but this first pitch will be an important one just to see what he gets thrown.
This is also almost the equivalent of icing the kicker, if you will. And here doesn't come Kinney's first pitch. He instead, keeping with the Tufts tradition, starts off with a check of the first base runner. Once again, that is Stillman in to run for Snyder. That's the second pickoff attempt, although that one was closer. And here's his first pitch, the 0-1 count, and that's going to be a hit out to right field. He gets in quickly and holds the runner at second, so it'll be first and second with nobody out here for the Bantams.
Just a little single to right, and just before that, the Jumbo's coach was was telling the center and right fielder to move into position, so I don't know if that helped maybe, but it wasn't too deep, so it's just first and second. Stillman couldn't get over to third. Still no outs, though, and a great opportunity here for the Bantams.
That brings up Pierce. He's their center fielder. Kenny's second pitch is in there for a strike.
Off speed.
Yeah, it was an off-speed pitch, and Pierce seems to think it was a bit low, and I can't say I disagree with him, but nonetheless, the count comes to 0-1. We have no outs, runners on first and second here, with the Jumbos holding a 2-0 lead.
Pierce has had a walk and a fly to center thus far.
And he hits a ground ball. It's going to get through the infield here. They're going to send the runner home. The throw goes to the cutoff man, who immediately throws it to third, where he's called safe. So that is 1 run in for the Bantams, and we will now have runners on the corners with no one out on that RBI single for Brennan Pierce.
It's some good running there from Mooney. He goes to second at first, and since Stillman will score, it's a difficult choice if he should run to third. Jumbos did hit the cutoff man, threw it to third, just not quite in time. Couldn't get the tag down.
It's definitely a bang-bang play, and it was tough to tell whether he was a little out of position or if the throw was just late or what, but it was drawn up very well. They hit the right cutoff guy and were ready to make that play to third. Good heads-up baseball for pretty much everyone involved. That brings up Christian Orsini, the right fielder.
And Orsini is batting .444, so this is the guy you want. Still no outs here, men on first and third. Bantams are looking to score, tie the game, or even take the lead here.
He's 1 for 2 here. He had a single back in the second inning to kick off the batting for the Bantams.
Nice off speed there.
That was an off-speed pitch that brings the count to 0-1. Soon to be calling Ian Kinney Stoop. Unsure where that nickname comes from, but pick-off attempt there back at first is always a dangerous play with a runner on third.
Oh yeah, first baseman Foxon had to reach for it, and if it goes past him, then that's a free run. Got to be careful.
Especially as the righty, you're really jerking your whole body around.
Yeah.
That pitch looked really good from here. It might have been a bit outside. That'll bring the count even to 1-1. Another pickoff attempt at first base there.
Trying to keep Pierce honest, who has a couple stolen bases on the year. As a
pitch goes into the dirt, brings the count to 2-1.
And you think Pierce could steal just because with first and third, it's a difficult play to try to throw him down at second because you're risking the runner at third trying to score.
Pierce has also been caught once. Ooh, and he fouls it off his foot there. That's Orsini fouling one off and hobbling around a little bit. Evens the count at 2-2. Umpire being the nice guy and walking the ball out to the pitcher, giving him a second to catch his breath and recover from drilling himself.
Yep.
Kenny looks very comfortable out there. He seems to be working in all of his pitches, throwing pretty hard. He's been hit a little bit, but he doesn't seem to be letting it phase him. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Just kidding. Here's a pickoff attempt. He came set about 3 seconds before he decided to do anything, taking his time out there. And here comes another pickoff attempt. That's the 4th, I think, of the at-bat.
Yeah, something like that.
4th or 5th.
Just delaying a very important pitch here with 2 strikes.
I was gonna say, this is a huge at-bat in this inning. And that one comes in low, bounces on the plate.
Makes
Brings
it
the
even
count
more
full.
important one with the full count. Yep, this pitch here is the difference between bases loaded if you walk him or having 1 out.
With the double play,
Right,
that's
exactly.
a possibility. He steps off the mound, steps off the rubber there, catches his breath, starts all over again. And another pickoff attempt. That one was also pretty close. That was a genuine attempt. We were talking about that yesterday, about the difference between having the pickoff attempt and having a genuine pickoff attempt. Some are just for show, and then that one was a real one. There's a huge difference. Runner goes here into that pitch in the dirt, though, so it's ball 4. It doesn't matter. That will load the bases for Alex Rodriguez. He's coming up yet again with the bases loaded.
Yep, last time he hit into a double play in this situation. We'll see if he can change that, although a double play wouldn't be too bad for the Bantams since there's no out, so it'd still tie the game. Rodriguez actually doesn't have any RBIs on the year, but he has a really good chance for one here.
And Tufts seems to be not playing to go home. They seem to be playing back in the infield. That first pitch is in there for a strike. It was at the knees, maybe a little below. But nonetheless in there for strike 1.
Yeah, I bet if the third baseman will probably go home, he's up on the dirt, but middle infielders will probably trade 2 outs for a run if it comes to him.
That ball is instead driven into left center. That's going to get down and be several runs in. They're sending it's going to be a triple here, it looks like. So 3 runs are in. He slides headfirst safely with a triple. So that is a huge at-bat for Alex Rodriguez. He is a bases-clearing triple. And the the Bantam bench is going crazy. They mob everyone as they've come in. That's 3 runs in, 3 RBIs for Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's a huge triple there. Mooney, Pierce, Olsini all score on the triple. That gives them a 4-2 lead, and it gives Rodriguez his first 3 RBIs on the season.
So that is, once again, a 4-2 lead for the Bantams. That brings up the 9th spot. Ben Reinich coming up to try to keep this rally alive. We still have nobody out in this inning, but already 4 runs in for the Bantams. That first pitch misses inside. That's ball 1.
Yep, no outs and 2 pitchers. Kenny has already given up 3 hits and a walk and hasn't recorded an out.
Rodriguez sent that ball all the way to the wall. It made it out to that 367 marker out in left center.
Yep.
That pitch is in there for strike 1, so it brings the count to 1-1.
Yeah, it's always tough as a pitcher when you're throwing strikes, but they just keep hitting him to the right spots.
Yeah, here's the 1-1 pitch. That's strike 2. Again, the strike zone here seems to go down a little bit as this game has progressed. That one was also a little bit below the knees. So that brings the count to 1-2. Still no one out. And Tufts has brought the infield in, so the play is definitely going to be to home if the runner goes.
Yep.
1-2 pitch. That pitch was in the dirt, which was a nice play by the catcher Schneff to really keep the runner at bay, prevent any more damage from happening. Runner in third, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still no one out here in the 6th inning. And that seemed to be a curveball that dropped in just a bit low. Count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Still no one out. Reinich calls time. Stops to redo his batting gloves, which I guess came loose. Mostly for show than anything else.
Yeah.
Just rocking the Nomar Garcia power to do 15 things before you actually get into the batter's box. And now he sends one foul down the first base line to foul it off, stay alive here at 3-2.
Yeah, he's been fighting this at-bat. Very nice at-bat. He only has 1 RBI on the season, but he has a chance to give the Bantams a 3-run lead if he can get on base.
It's kind of tough when you're batting the 9th spot to rack up RBIs. He sends this one on the ground towards third base, but it's hard hit and gets through the infield, which was brought in. That'll bring in the 5th run of the inning here. Still nobody out on that RBI single for Brian Reinich.
Yep, and that's a bit unfortunate because with the infield in, or well, if the infield wasn't in, then maybe they have a chance to at least get 1 out. They probably wouldn't have got the runner home, but you know, you really would take it out there.
And it seems as though they're leaving Kinney in here. They do have. That was ruled an error, actually. So not a single, but the run comes in nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pitch
That really shouldn't be an error.
Yeah, I think that's a tough call, tough
Yeah.
judgment. But nonetheless, it's an E5. Here comes. Oh no, pickoff attempts over at first. A-Rod gets back. No, sorry, not A-Rod. Brian Reinish.
Yeah.
I just really like saying A-Rod. It's fun. Stamatis is up right now. He's their leadoff hitter, and I think he went around on that pitch, and so does the umpire. That's strike one. We can really tell when the right-handed batters check their swings because we have a perfect view of that. It's a little harder with the lefties,
Yeah.
but even still, that one was pretty clear that he went around. Here's the 1-1. It's a bit up high. That's ball 2. Count goes to 2-1. Trinity has had 5 consecutive runners across the plate here, and now they have a runner on first. So this is their 7th batter of the inning. That one's in the dirt at Stamatis' feet. Count goes to 3-1. Another pickoff attempt here.
Jumbo's bench here is rallying Kinney, hoping he can fight back in this count and in this inning. Still no outs here.
Here comes a pitch high and away. That's ball 4. Definitely a little bit of frustration there coming out of Shemp as he tosses the ball back. So now we have runners at first and second. Still no one out here in the inning.
Yep. Kinney has now thrown about 20 or 25 pitches and no outs.
Yeah. Matt Toth is now coming up. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He had a single. He's also grounded out to the third base, and he has a fly out to center field. It does seem as though the Jumbos are sticking with Kinney here. They do still have a second game to play today, and that one's a 9-inning one. So it definitely makes sense to try to get as much out of your reliever as you can.
Oh, yeah. At this point, though, you wonder what he's thinking. It might get to your head that they've just been hitting you so much.
That's the pitch. He's bunting. And they got the play at first, so that does give them an out finally, but the runners do advance to second and third. It's a good play by the third baseman there to make the play.
Yeah, it's a good play on the bunt. Good make the out at least. I think there's a little miscommunication from the base runners actually. Stamatis was running on the pitch expecting the bunt, but Reinich, who was on second, took off late from second, but it worked out for them. They still have second and third, just one out.
This is the 9th batter of the inning. This is Matt Koperniak. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He's grounded out to second, grounded out to first, and then flew out to left field, which ended the last inning, so he's back up again.
Yep, and
he's seen 2 pitches go by that brings the count to 2-0.
Yeah, and the infield is back in, second and third. They want to stop the bleeding, really, get the out at home if they have it.
This is very similar to the game yesterday. We saw a big 6th inning actually from both teams. And this one goes to first base. They do come home with it. And he tries to go back, but he can't really go back because there's another guy there.
Is already at good base running.
There's a good base running play there by Koperniak. He ends up at second base despite it being a little nubber of a hit. They do retire one runner, so the runners stay at first and second. There are now 2 down in the inning.
Yep, that's a great play by the first baseman, Nick Fox, in there to get the out at home. Doesn't let the run score, but also good base running from both Stamatis and Koperniak, really. Stamatis knew he got to third, and even though Reinich got in the run down, you'll take the runner at third and just give up the out.
Brings up Cooper Mooney, the second baseman. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that is not Mooney. That is Snyder. Stillman, sorry. Wow, we've had so many people bouncing around this one position. Mooney is on deck. Stillman is now into hit.
This is the 4th batter of the lineup, which started the inning. Although it's a different batter because of the pinch runner that came in.
Count is 1-1. We have 2 away here, so runners at second and third. And this is a foul ball heading up to our stands with the entire stands reach up to catch it, except for where it lands. Almost hit someone as it comes down, but it looks like everybody's okay.
Yeah, those are always scary ones. Lands right in a crowd of people, but everybody's okay.
She holds up the ball, very excited to have caught her first foul ball maybe ever.
Got a souvenir.
It's the first souvenir to go out here at Huskins Field.
Yeah.
Brings the count to 1-2. 1-2 pitch. That's a hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop. Throws over to first, and finally the merciless sixth inning has come to an end. So that's 5 runs in for the Jumbos. They all hustle off the field. They've got 2 more chances here to sort of get back into it. They started to hit well in the last inning. They put up 2 runs. Let's see if they can get a couple more back. Try to take away this 5-2 lead. So that's 5 runs in, 10 hitters sent to the plate for Trinity, and now we're looking to see Tufts answer here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back for it. Don't miss it.
5 runs, 3 hits. There was 1 Tufts hitter, 2 men left on base. The score at the end of 5 1/2. Trinity 5, Tufts 2. Leading off for the Jumbos, a designated hitter, number 16, John Mushella.
And we're back here for the bottom of the 6th. Tufts sends up the number 4 batter, John Michella. He's also their designated hitter. They call him Moose, or Johnny Moe, from the dugout. Steps into the lefty batter's box and is ready to hit, but there's our pitcher's still playing around at the back of the mound. He's now up on the mound, ready to go. I don't know if he ever came set, but no one's saying anything. Throws the first pitch a little bit low and inside for ball 1. Michelle's hit the ball hard so far. He had to fly out to center field and a hard line drive to the first baseman, but has yet to tally a hit. Here comes the 1-1. That's in there for strike 2, so that brings the count to 1-2. So after that 5-run inning for the Bantams, we really hope to see Tufts answer here and come back with some runs of their own. Johnny was a little bit early on that, but managed to hit it off as though he was late. He tried to hold up his swing as he was going. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that one is popped straight up over towards the Trinity dugout. And that is a basket catch there.
From Reinich.
By Reinich. So Nick Folkson's up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third and had a line out to the second baseman.
First baseman, number 32, Nick Folkson.
On deck is Ryan Day. First pitch is a bit high.
That was up the eye level.
It's quite a bit high. Second pitch swing, that's strike 1. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's also slightly less high. That nonetheless is ball 2. Brings the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's driven out into right center field. Right fielder's under it and makes the play. It's the third ball hit out to the right fielder so far in this game for the Jumbos. And up to the plate now is Ryan Day. He started off that rally last inning with a leadoff single, I believe. He bats now with 2 down the 6th.
See if he can start a 2-out rally.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. And he golfs that one out into center field, and the center fielder makes an amazing diving catch. It might have been a bit gratuitous of a dive, but nonetheless comes away with it. That will end the inning. We head to the last inning of the 7th inning. Again, we're only playing to 7 innings for this first game, 9 for the second. But that's no runs, no hits, and no errors for the Tufts Jumbos here in the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. Back for the top of the 7th. Trinity is coming up to the plate right now. They're going to lead things off with Cooper Mooney, the second baseman.
Yeah, man, Mooney is who Kinney originally faced when he came in last inning. So
he's reached first base at least in all of his plate appearances so far. He reached on an error in the 2nd and had 2 singles in the 4th and 6th. And he sends this one off with a hard ground ball down the first base line, goes foul.
Nearly another single, but just to the right of the bag.
I was gonna say, if that one stayed fair, that was at least a double.
Yeah.
And now he golfs this one out into right center field. That's gonna fall in for a base hit. It's his 3rd single of the day.
Yep, just another one of those bloops into left center. Left fielder Ryan Day made a run for it, but it was just too far away.
Center fielder number 7, Brendan Pierce.
That brings up Brendan Pierce. He's the center fielder. He also came around to score in the last inning. That was another pickoff attempt, but we've seen enough of those by now. Brendan Pierce has had a walk in the 2nd. He flew out to center field, then he came around to score after having an RBI single last inning. There's the first pitch. It's in there for a strike.
Yep, this is the same middle of the order that really scored all the runs last inning. Five players in a row from the 4th spot to the 8th spot scored.
It's the 0-1. That one's hit on the ground to 3rd base. Over to 2nd for 1. On to 1st, but not not out. They called him safe there on a bang-bang play. I thought he had him, but again, I don't have the same view the umpire has. So they got 1 on the fielder's choice, 5-4. That brings up Christian Orsini, the right fielder.
Number 17, Christian Orsini.
He had a single in the 2nd, flew out to center field, and also had a walk to continue the inning last inning. He looks in at ball 1. Pickoff attempt. We haven't seen one of those in 4 pitches.
Yeah, and you know Pierce has speed because he managed to beat out the throw.
Over to 3rd, right. And he's going here. Runner goes. The pitch was a strike. The throw down almost goes into center field, but it was backed up well. So he's going to be safe at 2nd on a stolen base.
Yeah, you always got to be there as Burgess, the second baseman, backs up the play. If that rolls into center, then maybe it's another free base there.
That might even be a run.
Yeah.
So Orsini's now has a 1-1 count. And now it's a 1-2 count and it's pitched on the outside corner. Got a runner on second now, 1 down, 1-2 count. The Bantams still lead 5-2 in the 7th. Here comes the 1-2. And that is strike 3 on the swing, called by the home plate umpire. From my vantage point, I wasn't sure if that was a swing or not, but the ump made up his mind and called him out. So that's a strikeout swinging.
Number 30, Alex Rodriguez.
That brings up Alex Rodriguez, the catcher.
Yep, he's 1 for 3 on the day with a big triple, of course, last inning.
He's definitely been the hero of this game so far and having himself a day. Makes up for the double play he hit into back in the 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
Now 2 down here in the top half of the 7th. An 0-1 count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's popped up foul, and I think that's going to get out of play. Lands on top of the batting cage we have here on the first base side.
Yeah, and Rodriguez he's had runners on base all 4 of his times he's come up to bat. And again here, there's Pierce on second in scoring position if Rodriguez can manage a single.
It's the pitch. And he hits it hard, but this time down the third base line, foul. 10 out over to the tarp, which we saw yesterday, but thankfully today, not a cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful day for baseball here at Huskins Field. It's the 0-2 pitch. Oh, no, here's a pickoff attempt at second. And definitely a genuine attempt. It was a close play, but ruled safe. Kenny gets the sign, and here's the pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is called a ball outside. And an acrobatic play by O'Hara there at third base to catch the ball because he was jumping over the sliding runner.
Yeah, and another stolen base here for Pierce. The third baseman, he wasn't really ready for it. It took him a bit to start to cover third, and the throw is offset as well.
And so that's strike 3. It was a pitch in the dirt, but they managed to get him out at first base. So that will end the inning. It's a strike swinging. Jumbo's finished that inning without allowing any runs. The score remains at 5-2. And we're heading to the Jumbo's last ups. They need 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th to keep things going. We'll be back with that for you in just a couple minutes. And we're back here for the bottom of the 7th, the equivalent bottom of the 9th here for the Jumbos. They trail 3 runs, and so they need to make some magic happen here. They're getting the 7, 8, 9 batters up here to start things off. This is Ryan Dawes. He's playing shortstop after moving over from second. He walked in the 5th inning to sort of keep a rally going that ended up scoring their only runs so far. So let's see if we can get things going here in the top of the bottom of the 7th. And he hits the ball hard but high over into right field. Right fielder carries under and makes the play.
Yeah, and the Jumbos are actually in a similar position to yesterday.
Very, very similar.
Yeah, down
three
three
runs.
Pinch hitting for the Jumbos, number 11, Stephen
Yesterday,
White.
they managed to score 2 in the bottom of the last inning.
They did.
We'll see if they can do any better today. Already 1 out, though.
And we have a pitch hitter here for the Jumbos. This is senior Stephen White. He's number 11. He comes in to sort of kick things off here for the Jumbos. He's in for Shemp, the catcher, who hasn't been batting super hot this game. And the count is quickly 2-0. And it's a ground ball up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, who makes the play at first base. So that's 2 down here in the 7th. The Jumbos are down their last out. And coming up to the plate is Will Burgess.
Yep, down 3 runs, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Just looking to get on base, you know, 1 hit at a time, see if something can make a rally.
You just really don't want to be the one that ends it, especially when you're the freshman on the team trying to earn your spot here. That pitch misses for ball 1. He drives that out into right field. That'll be a single. So there's a little bit of life here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Jumbos, and now we're back to the top of the order.
That's exactly what you want from your number 9 batter, especially with 2 outs and your last chance, you know, just get on base, bring back to the top of the order and see if something
And that
can
brings
happen.
up number 34, Justin Mills. He had a single his last time up. That drove in 2 runs, so he had a big
Justin
at bat.
Mills, the center fielder.
Quick check on the runner, as we've found happens very often here at Hoskins Field. That pitch misses for ball 1. Kind of surprised to see Burgess not taking off here. There's no reason not to. Defensive indifference. They already checked the runner once, which also doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
That pitch misses for ball 2.
Yeah, when you're up by 3 in the last inning, you really don't care too much about the runner. Just get the batter. You just want 1 out at a time, especially with 2 outs. You only need 1 more.
And we're going to have a quick chat here at the mound. I wonder if that's what the message is being held here. Forget the runner on first. Focus on the batter.
Yep.
This conversation continues. It's just a coach and pitcher and catcher. Umpire taking about 6 steps towards the mound before they broke up their little conference and set up shop here to continue this at bat. It counts 2-0, 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th, with the runner on first. This is Justin Mills, the center fielder. Batting from the lefty batter's box. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. So it brings the count to 2-1. And this next pitch is in there for strike 2. Evens the count at 2-2, and the Jumbos are down to their last strike here.
Just need to fight here. Foul it off if you have to. Try to keep the game alive.
And that's a ground ball past the dive of the first baseman into right field. So that's a base hit for Mills to keep it alive.
Yep, and
That brings up Tommy O'Hara.
that's just what I was saying. That's all you need. You just had to fight off the ball. It was a little low, but he managed to put it in between first baseman and second baseman and get on base.
And O'Hara's batting well overall on the year. He came into this game batting .341. And he's playing pretty much every game. He's a senior leader here for the team, and I think we might have a pitching change for our starter, who's gone 6 2/3 strong. And that's exactly what we're going to see.
Yep, that's Schaefer, who's really had a great game. 6 2/3. If they manage to close the game off, he'll get the win, and there's a standing ovation for him from the Bantams fans.
As
yeah.
well as for the Bantams themselves. They came out to give him a row of handshakes as they walked through the line. So this for the Bantams coming in.
This is McLean Hill. I believe he had the save yesterday as well.
He did come in yesterday to pitch. He pitched pretty well. He's a senior. He's number 3. And this will be his 7th appearance in the game. He's a lefty. This will be a bit of a switch up for our batters. I'm pretty sure he's coming in for this lefty-lefty matchup here to try to end out the game.
Yep, he only needs to record one more out, and he'll have a save opportunity with 2 men on and 3-run lead.
Tommy O'Hara, the one who will represent the tying run at the plate here, does have a home run on the year. So some fireworks could happen here late in this game.
Yep, that's when you get towards the end of the games, it's really tense where any pitch could end the game and give it a win for Trinity, but any pitch could also tie the game up for the Jumbos, and who knows, we could be seeing free baseball here.
I don't really know if it counts as free baseball since most of them go 9 innings anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like we just didn't get the early bird special if that were happened. All right, and we're back to action here, playing some baseball. As warm-ups are done, and here comes Tommy O'Hara, the tying run, stepping up to the plate. We have runners on first and second with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. The score is 5-2 in favor of the away Bantams. McLean's first pitch. Almost at his head. He's going to miss high and inside, trying to brush him off the plate a little bit there for ball 1.
Yeah, maybe scaring him off.
McLean also seems to be throwing considerably harder than their starter. That pitch was right around the knees, but called a strike, so that evens the count at 1-1. Brings the count to 1-2. And once again, the Jumbos are down to their final strike, but they've made that happen so far with the last batter. Big pitch here.
Yep, just trying to fight. Maybe do what Mills did, base knock, keep this game alive.
High pressure situation. It's what you expect out of the senior, though, to be able to manage at that pressure. Here's the pitch. And that's strike 3. Swinging this. So that will end our first game here today. We have one more coming up later, and that will start right around 3 o'clock game time. That will end the game. The final score is 5-2 in favor of the Trinity Bantams, and the Jumbos fall to 0-2 at home.
Yep.
We'll see you back here at 3 o'clock, where we hope to see the Tufts can take at least one here in this rubber match of the series. That will be a 9-inning game. With that, I'm Alex Broder, alongside here with Daniel Mahoney, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you.